Afternoon, Quinn. Welcome, folks. Welcome, Eileen and Kathleen. Kate. I got a surprise for you guys today. Howdy, Annabelle. Wait for other people to show up. You guys are right on time. Howdy, Aaron.
Hello, how's your day going?
Okay, good. I had a nice rant this morning in government. That was fun.
Oh, wow.
It had something to do with an article in the New York Times saying, how do we get herd immunity to fake news? And I took that to heart this weekend because I just was going crazy with everybody seeming to believe all the conspiracy theories. So I created my own slide presentation, and then that just led into me ranting for a while. But it was good. It was good. It's important stuff to say because I think the school systems sometimes get a little shy on telling students that you actually do have a responsibility to find out what the truth is. And so that's when I went a little nuts this morning, but it was a good way. Welcome, everyone. I promise you what I'm going to share with you today, you do not expect. Yes, that's right. Actually, sometimes when I hear about the low civic literacy of some Americans, I got to shake my head because those are my peeps teaching those things, and apparently they're not doing a very good job of it. All right, we got 13 of you guys in. Welcome, June and Jose and Brandon and Makiko and Ryder, Aubrey, Jordan, Darren, Violet, welcome. Oh, nothing, June. I was just explaining to Quinn what the rant I went on in my government class this morning. That would be the Department of Education, Quinn, you're referring to. Yeah, that would be No Child Left Behind, which was just about every child left behind if you couldn't afford it. Okay, welcome people who are coming in. Welcome, Kayla. We got 15 of you guys. I'm going to wait another minute, see who else jumps in, but I won't keep you forever. I'm going to show you a photographer that you are not expecting to see. And I'm going to save another couple of photographers that you're not expecting for Friday, because that's a nice way to go out on the 2-week break. Well, harumph. It's 1:24. We're 4 minutes in. All right. So what the heck? The other people are just going to have to join as they come in. And as I say that, Amory just made it in. Welcome. So I'm going to show you some photographers, a short video on photographers that you would not think would be photographers. And then I'm going to zero in on one of them and show it because I think he does really cool stuff, A, and B, it is stuff that if you have the right equipment, and I know that's an issue right now, but if you have the right equipment, it's very doable. Any of you guys could do it. And next year, when we're back in our school and y'all have, if you're in a darkroom class, y'all have a 35 millimeter camera, you can do these things. So let me show you what the heck I'm talking about. So I'm going to share this video with you to start off with. Hey, where'd it go? Come back, come back. Okay, here we go. You probably can't even tell what that is at first. And if you can, you're visually really smart. Okay, ready, set, go. Yes, it is Ryder. Good guess. And welcome to all you new people that just came in. Oh, and Dylan needs to be admitted. That's a scanner.
I went legally blind in 1996 due to an AIDS-related condition called CMV retinitis. I'm totally blind in my left eye, and I have only limited peripheral vision with no central vision in my right eye, which allows me to see everything very out of focus and blurry. I see the world very much like it appears in an impressionist painting. I started doing a series of self-portraits that I called my Blind Vision series, which it tries to encapsulate the emotional, psychological, and physical weight of vision loss. And I found that just using a standard film camera was not effective enough for what I wanted to do. So I actually turned to using a flatbed computer scanner. I'm going to spray a little of this glass cleaner on here because what I'm trying to do is duplicate what I have in my own vision, which is a lot of visual obstruction. So I try to find a way to represent what is going on with the floaters and the fact that I have no central vision. I also put on shards of tinsel, which help me to illustrate sort of the shattered aspect of my own vision and create other textures within the work so that it replicates some of what I actually experience. I was born legally blind with a condition called optic nerve hypoplasia. Well, you can see clearly at 400 feet. I have to get up to 20 feet to see clearly. So my eyesight's very poor, but because I was born with this condition, you know, it's all I know. So I've adapted. With such poor eyesight, it's just wonderful how these new lenses and new technology can freeze action. This kind of detail, I've got a little clear sight about 3 inches from my face, so I'm able to get close and see the detail on the bee. And I've never been able to really look at bees up close because I did as a kid and got stung. I started taking pictures when I was about 9 years old. I had an old Argus, and I used to go around, photograph things, and take the film down to the drugstore and save up a little money and buy enlargements. When I look into the sky, I can see the moon, but I can't see stars. And I had a friend with a telescope, and he showed me stars through a telescope. And I thought, how do I connect the camera to a telescope? I had a guy in the neighborhood who I took it to his garage, and I said, I want to take pictures of the stars. And he told me what to do, and I opened the shutter and pointed a dark spot in the sky. And that's how I got started. That's how I realized that optical devices could help me see things. Decided in my 20s I'd really like to scuba dive. I signed up for a class. Questionnaire said, do you have any disability that would get in the way of your doing this? And I said, no. And I remember the instructor in the pool waving at me, and I couldn't see him. And I told him, oh, I don't have my glasses. I hit the water once I got certified and haven't turned back. I love it as much today as I did the first time I did it.
I have something called retinitis pigmentosa, and I lost my sight over time. My vision closed off as the camera aperture closes. At a certain point, I decided that blindness wasn't going to crush my life, and I had some vision. I didn't know when it was going to go away, but whatever vision I had to use to some purpose. I found an old camera, and I was interested in that.
Check it out.
Pretty much grew from there. By doing photography, my work makes people question their own assumptions about what the disabled can and can't do. So I'm actually breaking barriers without saying very much verbally. I don't try to show the sighted world in my photographs. I can, but there's no reason for that. I would prefer to show the world I see with its flaws and with some of the scary stuff, because things aren't perfect.
I don't think I've ever seen, I don't think I've experienced something that's perfection. I've made a few things that I feel are close, but there's always, sometimes I think flaws or those imperfections can be interesting. In life, as a photographer, as any kind of artist, you're always striving for whatever it is at the time. I want to create a perfect imperfection, a superrealism, to deal aggressively with the realities of the human body. It's important to me that what I produce does have a good resemblance to what I have in my mind's eye, but it doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same. Sometimes the struggle is worth the effort. I really want to create work that will make people think and maybe perceive life and view life in a different way. I think art has an amazing power to communicate and to change perspectives on so many things. And that's what I hope to do.
Oops, so there's the names of the three people that we just looked at. I'll give you a name in case you want to write down and pursue these. I'm actually going to show you Peter Eckert right now, and I'm going to save Bruce Hall and Kurt Weston for next Friday. But if you're curious, you can take a look at them. So a couple comments that was made in there that I think are really important. One is Bruce Hall said optical devices could help fill in where his eyes can't. Even if you have two good eyes, I absolutely want you to think in terms of a camera can show you things that your eyes can't see, that we're just neurologically not set up to see these things, right? And I think about, Peter Eckert, who I'm going to show you in a second. Imagine that you're a very slow growing, long lived kind of creature. You're like a tree, right? If you've read Lord of the Rings, the Ents are these tree people that mostly hang out looking like a forest, but once in a while they get roused and they kind of slowly move about and make hum hum noises and such. What does the world look like to them? What is, we move about so quickly, we're probably like gnats to them, right? And their senses are not lying. Their senses are accurate to how they're wired, right? And a camera is a sensing device. So if you can think about, I want to see what this looks like over, I want to see what happens when a super quick moment, when people are jumping in the air. Well, I can't see frozen people in air, but a camera can capture that. And what Peter Eckert does, which I'm going to show you now, is he captures an elongated moment of time as if it's one instant, right? A camera does that perfectly natural. You can't do that, but a camera can. So I'm going to go back to the share and show you the next video as soon as, there we go. So this is something that he did for Volkswagen. Volkswagen actually hired him to do an ad for them. But it shows you how he works.
When the doctor told me I would lose all my sight, it hit me like a hammer. I haven't always been blind. For about half my life, I was sighted. I was really looking for an art form that would help me describe the world of the blind. I could take photos that would mimic how sighted people see, but why would I do that? The world I envision is partly my imagination, but built from all the other senses. I use sound, touch, and memory to see. You can listen to objects, the reflected sound, and build an image in your mind's eye.
So what he just said there was he echolocates, just like bats do. So he hears the sound coming back in a room, and he can figure out where things are in that room because of the echo of ambient noise.
This car is very sculptural. The lines are quite exquisite because they blend and reappear and disappear. This is the first time I shoot a car as art. Okay, lights should be off. So the top of the car is right there? Yes. You can stand next to me and I'll operate the camera. I work in slow-speed photography in dim light to mimic what it's like to be blind. My work enables a bridge between the world of the blind to the world of the sighted. Think of me taking photos in the dark and sliding them under the door to the light of the world for sighted people to view. I compare my memory of the event to the actual description from a sighted person.
There's the fire coming over the hood of the car.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. The Arteon is more than a car. It visually has a sense of speed, but a subtlety of art. I like large images to communicate back and forth with sighted people. You don't need eyes to see beauty.
So I'm going to show you some of his work on his website, actually. So you see how he works. This is his website. So he goes in, what he does is he puts his camera on a tripod, obviously. He locks the lens open. That's something that's pretty impossible to do with a cell phone, unfortunately. DSLR cameras can all do this. Although the DSLR camera, you need a proprietary shutter cord, which costs a stupid amount of money. But if you're curious, I can tell you a ghetto workaround on that works just fine. You have to have a tripod. Your lens is open. You need a dark space. So it could be a totally dark room. It could be your basement. Could be a bedroom with the lights out at night. Could be outside at night. Especially I mean, I love to take photographs at night, but I'm using street lights and house lights and things. To do this kind of work, you need it to be a little bit on the dim side, as opposed to not under a street light. Backyards are really good for this. Parks are good for this. And have a flashlight. The light on your cell phone would work just fine. Matches work, sparklers work, anything, in fact, that emits light works. You saw him aiming a flashlight into a reflective card. You can do that. You don't have to do that. You can cover a piece of cardboard with tinfoil. That would work great. And you can also put colored gels over the lights, which changes obviously the color that it's going to emit. So I'm going to first go into Bone Light Gallery here and read his statement. This just down here is how you would order a photograph if you want one. But this explains the genesis of this series. It says, phantom senses are strange. A person with an amputated arm may feel the missing limb, for instance. Actually, oftentimes it hurts. They call it phantom limb pain. I have a biofeedback loop that came about as I worked to rewire my optic cortex. I was going to lose all my vision, so I decided to use sound, touch, and memory to build a method to see in my mind's eye. So he's using his other senses. A byproduct of this effort produced an odd phantom sense I call bone light. I can see light coming from my skeletal structure. It gets stronger or weaker in time with my health or level of emotional upset. I've included drawn bones in figures for many years, but never really explained to people what they meant. This series, I try to show what it looks like. So, boom, and I'm going to enlarge these. Oops, sorry, wrong way. Come on, come on. There we go, finally. So he's using different colored lights, and sometimes he lights up the front side, sometimes he is in the back. He said that he can remember forms really, really well. So obviously the figures in these are like, don't move. And he can remember where he's gone over with one light, and in his mind's eye, he's layering the light just as it is on, in this case, it's on film, because the guy's funny, he uses film cameras, which I kind of love. And so this is color film, and he remembers how he's building the image in his brain like it's building on the film. And so how to show what the bones in his bone vision look like. And when you look at these, when he claims that he can remember where he's lit things before and he's layering, part of this image makes me believe him, because this light right here is so precisely lined up with this light. Like, how on earth? And then he jumps over here, and in this space between the legs, he has this little zigzaggy line. That would look different if it were placed over here. And you can see this one's a little bit blending in. This line tracing, you know, he may not be tack perfect, but he's pretty darn close. Playing a trumpet. So he works with models, obviously, and there you can see he's got one stepping out the door, and that might even be him. Skeleton and shadow figure. I wonder if he's playing an accordion. So these are all part of his bone series. So in a sense, he's recreating sort of an X-ray vision. But I'm going to show you a different series now. Close. And so that's Bone Light Gallery. I'm going to go into Neurologic Gallery. And he's got a bunch of different galleries and a bunch of different projects. And in Canvas, I have posted his website, so you can feel free to take a look. This, he doesn't have any statement about it, but Neurologic Gallery, you can kind of figure that out. It's about your nervous system and your sensory system and how your body is this electrochemical series of pulses that run back and forth. And so this is about sort of body electricity. Come on, there we go. And look at this. That is not a bad metaphor for what's going on in your brain and your nervous system. That one is particularly cool. I like how he goes from the head to the stomach. And the stomach, by the way, is what neurologists more and more are saying is your second brain. So if any of you, I'll talk about the process some more, but if any of you want any help to try to do stuff like this, I got 1,000 suggestions. And he is remarkably good at staying, when he wants to stay pretty much within the lines. There you actually get a part of a profile of a face. So if any of you guys are outside at night and taking a walk and you see a shadow figure like this coming towards you, just run. Don't look back, just go. Or else you might have an extraordinary extrasensory experience. So that's where now we're going full circle here. So think about the intentionality of these, right? The man was he was sighted. He was actually a Finnish carpenter, apparently very good with his hands, and he's always made things his whole life. So as his sight started to diminish, he thought, I just have to figure out another way to be creative. And so his creative urge just dominated how he went about living. And so decided that he's going to figure out a new process. He can't actually see any of these finished works now, but he has people helping him. So it's always fascinating to me when people turn what would be perceived as a normal disability into an actual ability. So you need a tripod, you need a camera, you need to keep the lens open. You can, if you're outside especially in a park, if there's trees or something nearby, there's a process literally called painting with light. And so you can take whatever light source you want, could be a flashlight, but really anything. And locking the lens open, you can take a flashlight and walk by a tree, and you can just shine the light around the tree. You can highlight branches that particularly you want to stand out. You can go fast or slow, depending on how much exposure you want it to have. Like I said, if you have anything, not even just colored gels, but even colored fabrics that you can put over the light would change the color. So literally you can put characters, you can move characters, you can paint the scene around them. You can create something that doesn't actually exist, but on the film or on the sensor of your camera, it does. If you're interested in trying something like that, the beauty of it is that you don't know ahead of time exactly how it's going to come out. You find out when it's all done. So there's a fudge factor. Some of them might not work that well, but looking at those as, okay, what did I do that worked? What did I didn't do that, what did I do that didn't work as well? How do I adjust? There's ways to sort of learn on the fly. So if you try it, especially with a digital camera, if you try it 6 times, by the time you've gotten the 6th one, you figured out some things that work. And yes, you're not taking 100 pictures or 50 or 25, but the labor that you're putting into one photograph is quite a lot. And that one image is its own learning curve. And then you get to post-process it and do things that you want with that. All of this is open-ended material, and all of this is because virtue of you using a camera, it's photographic and it's totally legit. And it's not the kind of thing that you would normally expect out of a camera, but it's what is possible, what else is possible that I think is fabulous. So like I say, if any of you guys want to do it, I will help you from a distance, but I'll help you any way I can. And next year, when you're in a darkroom class and you have a camera, an SLR camera, it's black and white, but you can do that. You can put all kinds of artificial light in there. You can paint it any way you want. And it's just fun to play with. Did I mention sparklers? Sparklers work beautifully, having done that. I'm going to show you on Friday how a guy uses a scanner to make photographs. A scanner is just a different kind of camera. But it does capture light, and people have used scanners. People have put scanners on the backs of cameras and scanned scenes. So there's more than one way to skin this cat, and it's all legit. It's all legal and it's all legit. And if you guys want to try things like that, you get credit for it. And I guarantee you, you'll surprise yourself. You know, once you start to understand the capacity of these things, you will surprise yourself. So I'm going to show you that, and actually what other people have done on scanners as an alternative kind of camera. So that's what I got for you guys today. Do any of you guys have any questions at all? I will this week, promise, hold myself to it, go through all the photographs that have been, that you guys have emailed me that you have submitted. That's a SmugMug. Do not forget to send me that email if you put things in SmugMug, by the way, because otherwise I don't know. So I'll get all that stuff back to you this week. You've got 2 weeks coming up of winter break. I'm sure we're all looking forward to that. That's also prime time to take photographs. And some of you guys who need to get caught up, that's prime time to do that too. So, like I said, I don't need to keep you guys here any longer than necessary. So what I'm going to do is stay in Zoom in case you have questions, and we can work through it. But if you're good to go, then you may go. And I will see you guys again on Friday.
Thank you.
Okay? So.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a wonderful day and stay safe, sir.
Yes, and you too.
Thank you.
All stay safe.